Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Lynn Buchheit from the Plein Air Art Festival. Lynn, thanks for joining us.
Oh, nice to be here, Jake. Thank you.
Lynn, give us a little background on you. Where did you grow up, and talk a little bit about your career and then now your work with
Okay.
the art festival.
Well, I grew up in a little town called Meppen, Illinois,
Okay.
and just nice little farming community. Just had a great time growing up, and then I moved to the big city to, do all my career stuff. Graduated from college, computer programming, special education teacher, office manager, just a whole bunch of stuff based around family needs and things like that. And so a few years ago, we moved to a little town called Augusta, Missouri. It was in the middle of Missouri wine country, and the Katy Bike Trail goes right across the state. They've got a trailhead there, and we just thought it'd be a good place to retire and kick back and relax. Wineries and bike trail. What more could you want? So when the kids finished with college and everything, we moved out there and just quickly got involved. It's a small town. We've only have about 276 residents. That fluctuates, but we always say between 250 and 300. And so there's not a lot of people to do things,
Uh-huh.
do committees. And so we quickly got involved, and that's how I got on the Augusta Plein Air Festival. Along with my co-chair, Cindy Kodrowski, we've been running it for 3 years, and the festival itself has been around since 2003.
So give us a visual of what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like when you walk through the gates.
Of the festival.
Yeah.
Okay, so the festival is different in that it is really open air painting. So we invite artists to come in. And when it started that first year, 2003, I hear that there was only about 17 artists, and it only lasted one weekend. So now it's 10 days, and we get about 120 artists that come throughout those 10 days, but it's just not in the town of Augusta. So
Okay.
we have every day we have painting competitions. So it may be at this winery one day, it may be in the town of Defiance one day, it may be at a brewery one day. So we have a couple of different competitions every day. The public can attend these, they can watch the artists paint. The artists get about 3.5 to 4 hours for the competition. There's a judging at the end of every competition. So we give prizes out twice a day. And so it just depends on the event. So if you want to go enjoy wine and eat, at a winery somewhere and watch the artists and then stick around to see what they've come up with, that's great. If you want to do like New Melly is a small town close by, and we spend an afternoon in New Melly, and they can look at the whole town
Yeah.
there and watch the artist paint. So it's just different. Our final day though, on the Saturday the 29th next year of April, that's when we have our big final sale. So all the artists that come
Oh, wow.
can submit two paintings, and they will submit two paintings, and then we have a final judging, and that's when we give out best of show, people's choice, artist choice, a first, second, and third, and honorable mention in each of the media. And it's great. So that's when we have the wineries will be in the town square, so you can buy wine. The breweries will be there, you can buy beer. There'll be food, from different. There's a children's art tent, and then we have all the artists will have their own tents out on the street. So we'll have 70 artist tents then lining the streets, and people can walk around, drink wine, and look at what the artists have been producing for 10 days. So
Wow.
and we have live music. We
Uh-huh.
do have that. Last year we tried a new band called the Whiskey Club Band out of St. Louis, and they were fantastic.
Great.
So right after they finished that day, I walked up and I said, can you come back out here next year on the 29th? And I booked them right away. So we already have our band booked
Sure.
for this spring, and so we're ready to go. But it's fun. So every event is different. We have one called a quick paint, which a horn will blow, and the artists have just like 2 hours to paint.
Oh, wow.
And you'd be surprised what they can do in 2 hours. And in our area, it's rolling hills, it's river bluffs, it's the Missouri River, it's all the vineyards and wineries, and we're just beautiful no matter what time of year. But in the spring, when everything's greening out and the dogwood are blooming and the red bud and the grapevines are starting to sprout, it's just an amazing area then. It's just beautiful in the spring.
Fantastic. Where did this concept come from?
Well, a plein air is a French expression meaning open air. So it's been around a long time. It's just to get the artist out of the studio and painting in the open air. So that's plein
Where
air
did it
is
come
just
from from your area? Whose idea was it to bring this there?
This was back in, so I just moved into Augusta in 2016, 2015.
Okay.
But back in 2003, there was a festival called, it was a weekend, and I think it was called like Augusta Spring History Weekend or something like that. And there was an artist out of Kansas City, a plein air artist named, her name is Joan Parker. And she thought that our area would be perfect for a plein air event. And so they decided to try it and incorporate it into that history weekend.
Oh.
And from there it grew from the weekend to the 10 days. It just kept growing and growing. It's pretty popular.
That's awesome. What is it? What describe a couple of moments for me, if just listening to this, when you really feel like this is my reward. This is the moment, the feeling that I get when I like, okay, this is it for me. I know we're doing something good here.
We really have become, there's a couple of things. The first thing is the artists. So it is, they're an amazing group of people. And we have so many that return. So it's like when they come back, it's just like, seeing all your old friends again. But our festival is also known as a starting place for new artists that want to break into plein air. So many of the festivals that are around are invitational. You have to have a name, you have to have a following, and you'll get invited to different festivals and events. But this is just open. It's open. Anybody, any artist that wants to come, whether you've been painting 3 minutes or, 3 years, 30 years, you can just come in. And so we're open. So it's a good starting point for many artists. And I like to see the new artists come, they come in scared and worried. And what do I do? What do I do? And by the end, they're happy and they're saying, we're coming back next year. This has been a great experience. So I really like that. And then the community, when I see the final day, because it's all isolated events, we don't pull in a lot of public at some of these wineries and stuff because it's midweek, people work, we get it. But that final sale day when the streets are crowded and, people are walking up and down and having a good time and the band's playing and, you can smell the food. I just love that final day when I see, okay, it was a success. We really need good weather every year for that to be a success. But yeah, so I really like that final day, seeing all the crowds out.
Yeah, no, it sounds great to me. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fun.
Very good. Okay. All right. A couple fun questions to close out here. Lynn, because I am a live music guy, I am an entertainment guy. What is the best concert that you've ever seen your entire life?
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on what stage of life I've been in, but back when I was in my early 20s, maybe Foreigner. And as far back as a few years ago, I really enjoyed, I went to see Cher's first final tour. And that was very theatrical. She had so many costume changes. That was just exciting because of all the things she did. But I also enjoyed, I went to a Tom Petty concert once that I thought was amazing. I love Tom Petty and, those. So I've been to a few.
All right. So here's my final question for you. Dead or alive, you could bring any act to your art festival to close that out Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Dead or alive, who would you bring?
Well, it's got to be somebody who would bring patrons in with big money so we can sell art. But personally speaking, I would have to say I wouldn't mind seeing Elvis Presley.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you there. Very good. Lynn, how do people find out more about the Plein Air Art Festival there in Missouri?
They go to AugustaPleinAir.com. It's just like Plein is how you spell plain in that, but it's AugustaPleinAir.com.
Very good. Thanks so much for being on with us today, Lynn.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Jake.
Well, baby, I'm